Hi, and welcome to 3 Things in 3 Minutes. I'm Nersi. Today we are looking at New Frontiers from Rio Grande Games. It plays 2 to 5 players and takes 45 to 75 minutes. What it's about: this is the latest game in the Race for the Galaxy series of games, converting the prior card and dice driven mechanics to a more of a board and tile setup. The core is the same. You take an action for a bonus and everyone else can follow suit. You explore and colonize planets, build developments for passive bonuses, and produce and sell goods for money and points. However, this version reduces the randomness of the game in several ways, making for a more strategic, if more complex version. What I like: one of the most important things the game does is leave little to chance. And in fact, the only randomness comes from the planets you draw out of a bag when taking the explore action, and even that is handled by a draft. Instead of everyone picking actions simultaneously, they are now done in turn order, and each player has to pick a different one so you can plan ahead a bit more. And also the game becomes less about trying to predict what other players are trying to do and more about what strategies you will need to employ, allowing you to react to what other players are doing and have more strategic planning. Also, the development tiles are available and laid out at the beginning of the game, although with half of them you can pick a random side. Now, in both of these ways, the game lets you pick a strategy early on and pursue it, and for the most part chart your way through it rather than relying totally on luck, much in the same way Caverna did with Agricola. Also, the components are well designed. With the player boards first seeming like they take up a lot of space, they actually do a pretty good job of making it easy to see when someone is close to triggering the end of the game. And the goods tokens are of nice quality, and it's nice to see that they put some thought into making the game mostly colorblind friendly. Points to consider: one of the downsides to having all of the developments out is that you have 24 developments waiting for you to pick, and that can be overwhelming, especially for people not familiar with the core mechanics of Race for the Galaxy. This also feels like the availability of tiles in games like Caverna, and so this is definitely an advanced entry in the series. Also, because everything is available from the beginning, if another player is going for a similar strategy and grabs the developments you need before you can get left out of your strategy pretty quickly, where randomness can protect you a bit against that. And finally, it can be a bit difficult to read through your planets and developments every time you take an action to see if their abilities trigger, and especially late in the game when you have several, and where it can actually be hard to tell the difference between which planets you have and have not colonized, and it can definitely slow the game down. So, in summary, it is an advanced entry into the Race for the Galaxy series that allows for much less randomization and more strategic planning. It has some well thought out components, though the amount of options may be a lot to take in, and the amount of timing and planning required makes this a harder game to jump into in the series than earlier games. Thanks so much for watching. Please make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel.